Thanks so much. We appreciate it. Well, taking a look at politics now, we are just a couple of weeks away from the Georgia primaries, and that means it's time to really start digging into especially the gubernatorial election, among others, taking the temperature, as you will, of the entire electorate. I'm here with Kimberly Martin, associate professor from Georgia Southern University, our political expert. We're talking about it. Suddenly the ads are coming out. Derek Dooley just dropped one. Jason Estevez just dropped one as well. We're starting to see the money flow in that last push for votes, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right. So a lot of these candidates that were fundraising throughout the election process, the cycle, are now deciding, okay, this is the final push to the primaries. They're about to happen. We've got a month. We're less than a month away. And so they're saying, all right, now it's time to spend the money. Now it's time to get people's attention. Now,
Jon Ossoff hasn't been spending as much money because he doesn't have a competitor in the Democratic side of the race right now. He is putting out a lot of information about health care right now, pushing that as a big issue, because looking at the newest polls, healthcare and, as we talk about, kitchen table issues are the biggest thing that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, so if we take a look at what voters really care about, what's on their minds right now, we can see that overwhelmingly it's what we're calling kitchen table economics. So these are issues like gas prices, utility prices, the grocery store. When you go to the grocery store, how much do things cost? And so that is the number one thing that people really care about. Jon Ossoff, Democrats will likely push the issue having to do with the shutdown that a lot of people ended up being kicked off or having too high premiums for their Affordable Care Act health care. That is an issue that will also come up because health care is important to people, along with the economic issues that they care about right now.
And the newest polls are out now, and starting with Ossoff, he's hoping to take home that early lead or early situation when it comes to November. And the Echelon poll that just came out says he does have a lead against either one, Collins or Buddy Carter. Taking a look there, Collins at 44%, Carter in the next one really just below him. It's not a huge spread, though, and there's a big wide range. By the way, it's 6.5%. Moment of interest there on that one. So.
Yeah, and I think we can put this into perspective too. Jon Ossoff is the incumbent, so he has a lot of name recognition. Jon Ossoff has a campaign war chest that is huge, much larger. He has more money than any of his other competitors. And right now we've got 3 or 4 viable candidates on the Republican side. Once we get through the primaries, the party will coalesce around whoever the winner is, and then you'll start seeing those margins narrowing a little bit.
Yeah, it should be interesting. And it's plus minus 6.5%, so it's not like it's that far off either way. Then looking at the governor's race, Echelon, partial, I guess, on this one is looking at it. Keisha Lance Bottoms up against 2 of the possibilities. You see her there, 49-43 supposedly against Rick Jackson, as well as their 46-44. That would be Brad Raffensperger, I believe, in that case, not Rick Jackson. And then, so we're looking at the differences on that. Interesting, though, Burt Jones, probably the front runner on the Republican side, not in that poll.
Yeah, so I'm not sure why they didn't include him, but I would actually put him somewhere around the Rick Jackson numbers. That's an interesting poll, and I think what's really interesting about it is if you take a look at the spread between Rick Jackson and Keisha Lance Bottoms, it's much greater than the spread between Brad Raffensperger and Keisha Lance Bottoms. And I think that is a perception right now, the message that Rick Jackson is sending out. He seems to be a little bit more extreme to the Republican side, and I think maybe people are picking up on it. I wouldn't expect for those poll numbers to stand, particularly after the primaries. I think that race will tighten up quite a bit.
And also interesting is that Bottoms is the only candidate they picked from the Democratic side, so they don't believe in Jeff Duncan, they don't believe in the other candidates. They truly believe that Bottoms will be the Democratic side.
She's been polling so high and so consistently over the past few months.
And Echelon, you said the poll makers in this case lean more Republican.
They're Republican strategists who founded Echelon. They're known for being fairly neutral and data-driven, so it's an interesting poll all around.
And still a couple weeks to go.
Yes.
Kimberly Martin, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Much more to come. For more information, of course, on the races, candidates, dates, both here in Georgia as well as South Carolina, visit wsav.com/electionhq. And Kim and I will go ahead and have our podcast coming up. That'll be available for you tomorrow on WSAV.